Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friends Who Roll for Pride charity stream, where we will be supporting the Trevor Project. My name is Mare, and I am part of the production committee for Friends Who Roll Dice. And today we're playing for the Queen. Everybody, wave, say hi. For those of you who are not familiar, the Trevor Project is an organization that provides crises and suicide prevention services to young members of the LGBTQIA plus community. We've got a couple cool incentives today for the For the Queen game. I'm going to forego the explanation and leave that to Penn in just a second. But we have one donation today, which you can see in chat by putting incentives. But basically, our players are going to be answering questions, and if you want them to answer a spicy question, you can donate $5, and Penn will pull that for you. Just as a reminder, please don't donate past your means. A little bit helps. Even retweeting and spreading the word is valuable and just as good. So with that, I am going to have everyone go around, just say who you are and your social media really quick, and then I'll hand it off to Penn for us to get started.
Thank you. I am Pen from Plus One Pen of Smiting, and it's Plus One Pen of Smiting on all the socials.
Hamnah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamnah, and you can find me on Twitter at hshahid_.
Valiant.
Hi, my name is Valiant. I am at Valiant Dorian at most social media platforms. I use he, him pronouns.
CJ.
Hi, everyone. I'm CJ. You can find me on Twitter at CJM_115 and on TikTok at Scholastic Dragon.
And last but not least, C.
Hi, y'all. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns, and you can find me on the internet, generally speaking, at pi_sharp_art or specifically on Twitch at pi_sharp.
Okay. I'm going to bounce out for now, so Penn, take it away.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be able to share For the Queen. This is a collaborative storytelling game that is completely dependent on our players creating not only each other, our monarch, and the culture that we come from and the culture that we're going into. This is a unique storytelling game. It never comes out the same way twice, and I'm really excited to be able to share this not only with my players, but with everyone here. So with that, I'm going to read the instructions. This will give us the idea of what we are beginning. The land you live in has been at war for as long as any of you have been alive. The Queen has decided to undertake a long and perilous journey to broker an alliance with a distant power. The Queen has chosen you and no one else to be her retinue and accompany her on this journey. She chose you because she knows you love her. We will be going around the table and asking questions. These are questions that you are allowed to answer. You can answer it in any way you wish, and that becomes part of the story. The narrative is shaped by you. If at any time there is a question that you do not want to answer, you can either exit by showing an X card or signing an X, and that question and its content can be removed. However, you can also elect to pass it by turning to one of the other players and saying, I'd like to know what you would say about this question. And that question will be repeated and asked to the new player. Questions will go around until they are X'd out or requested to be removed. At that time, we will then continue with the next person in play. If you encounter a card that you don't want to answer at any time, it will be removed. I want you to know that this will be going on until roughly halfway through, where we will have a break, and then we will be doing the whole game all over again with a brand new queen and a brand new set of characters. But at this time, I want to share with you, this is our queen. May this serve as inspiration for you. She has chosen you, and only you, to accompany her on this journey. We are in a foreign land. We are on a secret mission of peace in a war-torn world. It's only us. And perhaps we know each other, or perhaps we've never met at all. That will be determined by your answers. Hamnah, are you ready for your first question?
Let's go.
The Queen trusts you but no one else in the royal court does. Why?
The queen knows what's in my heart, so she trusts me implicitly, explicitly, in all the ways that I can be trusted. But there was an unfortunate incident a while ago that some members of the royal court happened to witness, and it made them believe that I was a spy from another country, that I was here to gain intel, perhaps even to assassinate the queen. And so they've been keeping a very close eye on me ever since. But the queen knows I would never betray her.
And are you from a foreign country or are you from this country?
I am from here.
Val, are you ready for your first question?
I am.
What brings out the queen's kindness?
What brings out the queen's kindness truly is the quietest moments. It is the small brokers of discussion instead of use of force. It is a tender smile, a quiet whisper that gently ushers one away to a quieter room.
Pen, we have a $30 donation. That'll be 2 pulls from the spicy deck, please.
Oh my.
Oh no. Oh,
We're
no.
starting
You and
strong.
me, you and
We
me.
are- Wow.
We are in.
Val and I dodged it. Thanks.
C, are you ready for a spicy question?
Oh, you know I am.
Oh,
The queen lights a fire in you. What is it?
It has to be love. I know it's love. It's been love since the day I first laid my eyes upon her. I knew there could only be one person in this world for me, and it is, of course, the queen.
Who could blame you? CJ, are you interested in your spicy question?
I am very much.
There is someone else in this retinue you love besides the queen. How and why are you keeping it a secret?
I keep it a secret because I fear that love for anyone else other than the queen is just almost treasonous, if you will, but I simply cannot betray the way that my heart feels for more than one.
It seems that we are brought together all in bonds of love and intensity. I can't wait to learn more. Hamnah, are you ready for your next question? You sometimes think you might be the queen's favorite. Why? And why does this worry you?
Sometimes when the queen has dinner. Now, we know how royalty does it. They have people taste their food first, and it's in their private chambers. But sometimes the queen likes to forego all of that, have a private dinner. And as far as I'm aware, the only person she's ever invited to those dinners is me. It worries me because, well, we're not going through the usual channels when that happens. And if for whatever reason someone were to poison her food or find a way to kill her in that moment, I know that I would take the fall for it.
You know that while we are on this journey, this secret journey, it's only us. We can't have any private food anymore. We can't have any private time anymore. How does that affect your meals now?
It feels strange, that's for sure. Having to share with everyone else this time that I have admittedly come to cherish and to look forward to.
It's hard to share sometimes. Val, are you ready for your next question?
I am.
What do you do that pleases the queen on this journey?
I think that the queen above all else understands that I am a man who is unwavering, unfettering in his loyalty. And truly, what pleases the queen as I go on this journey with the rest of the retinue is that I continue to exhibit that loyalty in every interaction.
You are unquestionably loyal, and she's made note of it. Do you consider everyone else here just as loyal? She would not have invited them if not.
It would be disingenuous of myself to question the decision making of my queen, but doubt
Well,
finds its way.
loyal, but observant. C, are you ready for your next question?
I am.
What promise did the queen make to you before this journey? Do you think she'll keep it?
Well, the queen did promise, of course, that at the end of all this, I would be able to return to my home kingdom, the one which we've been at war with for so very, very long. And that I would be able to go back and rebuild my home from the ground up, as allies, of course, with her. And I hope desperately that that remains true.
So you are from this country that we are traveling through to broker our secret peace.
I believe that I am there as a guide to serve our way through the land.
I see. A guide who has fallen in love with the queen.
Of course, easy to do.
What an interesting journey this must be. CJ, are you ready for your next question?
I am.
What? Oh, I just asked that one. The queen knows something about you that no one else does. What is it?
One night when everyone else was asleep and all of the guards were changing their shifts, I had stayed late in the castle library, attempting to learn as much as I could so that I can better serve the queen. And as I was staying at the library, I walked through a passing just so that I can imagine how beautiful the queen was when she slept. I passed by her room, and as I was passing by her room, I saw someone who was not meant to be there, someone with so much ill intent. Someone was attempting to get into the queen's room and attempting to assassinate her, possibly. I took my dagger from my hip and I thrust it into them, and I ended them to save the queen very quickly, very quietly. And I told no one, all to avoid any form of an incident. And I told the queen the next day, and she promised me that we would keep it secret, and I promised that I would never stop loving her.
Oh, you confessed your love to her.
Well, but of course, very quietly, I do not fear the reciprocity because my love for her is just so genuine. As long as she knows, I can live peacefully.
You safeguard her and you safeguard your home. It's admirable. Hamnah, there's a false rumor about you and the queen back at the royal court. What is it, and how did it start?
Well, you see, there are lots of people that wander the castle, places they're not supposed to, while they're on duty. Nobody will take responsibility for it. Of course, if you ask, they will deny it. Why would they be somewhere they're not supposed to be? And yet, somebody was, one of the guards specifically, and they may have noticed the queen and I stealing away for one of those dinners, one of those private dinners. And so a rumor has started that there is something going on between the two of us, something romantic perhaps, but I don't think that that is true.
You don't think there is?
I don't believe the queen feels that way towards me.
But she invited you along.
Simply to protect her, maybe, knowing that I would.
Maybe. Val,
Yes.
you saved the queen's life once. How?
There was a stray arrow, once certain for her heart, that while she was upon her horse parading down the streets of the city with as much determination and strength as I could muster in that moment, I leapt before her, preventing that arrow from reaching her heart, taking it upon my shoulder.
You are one of the guards then?
It was, certainly.
Are you still?
One of a different caliber, but the behavior still sticks.
You are forsworn to your duty, and you perform it well. C.
Yes.
How does the queen remind you of her status while on this journey?
Oh, of course. Well, of course, I have not come from a noble ranking, certainly not since I left my kingdom to join this one. And as I continue to move around and make camp as we travel, I slip into a more casual, a flirtation with the queen, perhaps one so bold as to draw the ire not only from the queen herself, but also the queen's guards. A compliment slightly too unveiled.
So you are our guide here in your native land, but do you hold rank here? Are you a royal?
I used to be, before,
Yes.
of course, my family was dethroned.
Ah, a deposed heir. We are fortunate to have you along, especially to be an ally. Our peace is well assured with this company. CJ, when was the last time the queen showed you real kindness?
I I'd have to say that it was a couple of months ago. We were in the garden. Um, I was reading a book, again, trying to be as studious as I could be. And I could not find my page keeper. I was so lost. I was fraud. I was looking around for it. And as I was kind of running around the garden, I saw the queen. I stopped. I bowed out of respect, and she gave me one of her favorite flowers that I still hold to this day to keep hold of my books. And every time I am able to think of her.
Is it with you on our journey?
Of course.
What book is it in?
The book is an old alchemy book. One of the tools that I use for this kingdom and overall for my queen. I could not think of a better place for a rose so sweet.
And a poet. Hamnah, what is something you do for the royal family that has prepared you well for this journey?
My job in the royal court is that of an advisor, specifically an advisor of war. And so I have been heavily involved in this whole affair and in the preparations leading up to this journey specifically. Now, when it comes to the perhaps diplomatic attempts that the Queen might make once we arrive, that I know nothing about, but I will be prepared if we are ambushed or need to pick up a fight.
Pen, we have a Ask a Spicy question aimed at CJ.
Oh,
You were
Then.
targeted.
Let's go.
This is targeted
You were
now.
Oh,
You got it.
It is from Dare.
hello, Dan.
Thank you for your donation, Dare. And when I get to him, you bet I'm going to pull one. Val, are you ready for your next question?
Yes, I am. Now that I know where that was going.
I was prepared, but
Yep.
we'll just give you a regular spicy cut, like a medium spice
A
question.
medium spicy. That's
a
fine.
medium spice question.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
What part of this journey will be the most difficult? How do you pull the rest of the retinue through it?
I think the greatest difficulty, not just in this particular journey, but in any journey, featuring a group of diverse backgrounds and different skill sets, is unity of mind and purpose as we move forward to broker peace. Peace, war, they have so many different meanings, so many different interpretations, different ways to broker each one. Even with the kindest of intentions, it falls out of place. So the only good way of moving forward is that we are all united singularly in purpose. And that is going to be challenging.
Well, you are the one that we turn to unite us. You are the one that is leading us because you are going to pull us through that in those moments where there is doubt, in those moments that there are concern, difficulty, adversity. We will be turning to you.
In the name of my queen, I hope I succeed.
The life of your queen and the peace of this world will depend on it. See, the queen gave you a compliment once. What was it, and why have her words stayed with you?
It was an interesting compliment. Come after the stern talking to, I think, that I received on the eve of my misspoken slip. Insofar as the Queen told me she liked how I spoke without consequence, how I told her how I really felt, with no secret double meanings or entendres, that I was clear and forward. And it stuck with me because, well, it means that she heard me, doesn't it? And if she liked what she heard, perhaps I do have a chance. Not just at this, but redemption.
She seems to value words. From what Val has said, she values silence and words and peace more than war, although she seems to have also benefited by the swift actions of a number of our company.
Pen,
Something to consider. Yes.
we also have a spice for Hamnah.
Okay. Well, CJ, you'll be getting our first spice.
I'm ready.
When did you know that you were in love with the queen?
I'd say it was around a year into being in the castle. You see, it's easy to simply boast and say, oh, I was in love with the queen from the moment I saw her. No, that would be partially dishonest. Yes, she's beautiful, but when did I fall in love with her? It was after seeing just how passionate she is for the people, how passionate she is for peace, how much she believes in me, and not just me, in all of the retinue. I fell in love with her slowly and surely, and after every single thing that she's done, not only for me, but for everyone else, I am in love with her because she is a queen for the people, and I'll never stop loving her.
There are so many of you who wear hearts on your sleeves. Surely you've noticed you're not the only one.
Well, someone as beautiful as her, of course she'd have many admirers.
Many of them here, together, on a journey of peace in the heart of war. Hamnah, when was the last time the Queen hurt you?
The last time the Queen hurt me was during a meeting. We were counseling on a battle that we were going to be engaging in a few days, and I had suggested a plan of action. It was a bold one, it was risky, but I firmly believed that it was going to be the correct course of action. It was the leverage that we needed in order to turn the tide of the war. And yet, the Queen, in front of everyone, all of the different people at the table, she silenced me. She did not support the idea. She did not even entertain it at all. And instead, she took the counsel of her guide. She said that her guide knew better, being from the area. And that hurt because this was my job. What did they know about this war?
Just because you're from an area doesn't know that you understand war. But also, they are from here. How has that shown up during our journey?
It is obvious in the ways that they move, the way that they maneuver themselves in the area. They seem to know it like the back of their hand. They know which way to go. They know what's going to come next. And some of the flora that's around as well is unfamiliar to me. And there have been, I am embarrassed to say, numerous occasions in which they have stopped me from touching something that looks beautiful and yet would poison me upon contact.
You know that CJ most likely knew. Did he say anything?
Not to me.
I see. Val,
Yes.
what did you bring with you to protect the Queen?
A weapon that has been by my side, strapped upon my hip for many, many years. My two-handed greatsword.
And is this your weapon, or is it a weapon that has been handed down to you?
It belonged to the previous captain of the guard, to myself, the current captain of the guard. He believed that I would be able to protect the Queen where he could not.
It must be difficult to perform your duties with so many who are willing to intercede on behalf of the Queen.
Certainly, yes. Especially when my voice, especially the voice characterized as the voice of a thick-headed brute, do not ring as sweet as perhaps our guide.
There's some tension in our midst. C, are you ready for your next question?
Certainly I am.
What do you do? Oh, this is, I think I may say this is a spicy one, actually.
I'll take it. Listen, I'll take it.
Give it to you.
Come
I'm
on,
going to
free
give
for
it
the
to you.
people.
We're setting
I'm
it up.
ready.
We're setting it
Free.
up for you.
It's free, guys.
I'm ready.
What do you do for the queen that no one else can do?
Ooh.
Oh, no. Interpret as you will.
I show her that there is far more to life than all of this nobility, this retinue of honor and trust. I show her that there is a world beyond all of this to do, all of this hoity-toity business of war and peacemaking and ruling. Why listen to all these people? They don't know you. Don't you just want to go somewhere quiet? Look at the stars and the beautiful flowers, those that you've never seen because you've never been allowed out of your palace. Isn't this better to be away from it all?
You've had that taste of freedom. You sound like you know.
I do. I've missed this place for many, many years. I'm glad to be back.
Did you used to travel here, or were you also similarly locked up until, well, fortune decided to change your fate?
No, this kingdom, the one in which I was raised, is in fact nomadic. There is no direct capital. There are many huge, beautiful cities, but royalty, those in charge, the leadership, travel between them to see the vastness of the place that they call home.
Then you are well traveled and you know their destination. It's a secret piece that we're hoping to broker, but you know where we're headed. Does anyone else in the troop know?
I'm actually going to leave that to my fellow players.
Very well then. CJ, are you ready for your next question?
And yes.
What did you bring with you that endangers the queen?
Hmm. With me, I carry a letter. I carry a letter that says who should get the throne if she were to pass. It is something equivalent of a will. And if that were to spill, if anyone were to know that the next person in charge would be someone so vile, I'm sure they would attempt to take her life forthwith.
Do you know who the letter names as her successor?
I do.
You are privy to very delicate information. She must trust you utterly.
Indeed.
I wonder what the rest of the retinue would think if they knew such that letter existed, or that it was on your person. Something to think about. Hamnah, what do you usually do for the royal family? Why does that make you an unlikely choice for this journey?
I think for this royal family, I am normally more of a strategist. I'm not really somebody that goes out and actually fights the battles specifically. I have some training, of course, as everyone must in my line of work, but I have a keen eye for being able to play chess almost with the battlefield. And so I usually hang back in the tent where it's safe and I direct things. It's unusual for me to be going out on a mission, let alone a diplomatic one. And so I'm not 100% sure why I was invited, but I'm happy that the queen trusts me enough to bring me along.
Well, this explains why you didn't realize some of the pretty flowers could poison you. And it's got to be somewhat confronting to be actually on the front lines of what could be a deadly mission.
I won't lie, I am a little bit afraid for my life, but can't exactly say that or show that now, can I?
No, but have you brought anything to protect you? Or are you, as well as the queen, at the mercy of our guards, the captain of the guard, and our stalwart alchemist, and our guide?
I have a sword, the one that I have trained with. I am not an exceptional fighter, but I know my way around a thing or two. I also brought, just in case, a vial of poison.
I see. And who would that vial be for?
Should there be anyone who betrays us on this journey, should there be anyone that we come across that tries to harm her in less direct ways, I'll be ready.
Is that poison for your sword? Or is it something that you administer or something you splash?
It would be something that would need to be ingested.
A subtle and cruel end. Well deserving, though, I'm sure. Val,
Mhm.
you have a personal connection to the land we're currently traveling through. What makes you want to stay, and why don't you?
Perhaps it is the soldier in me, the brute-headedness that I fought in great many skirmishes on these lands. You stay for so long, it becomes an undeniable part of you. These landscapes, these vast areas of just silence. What was the other half of that question? Why don't I stay?
What makes you want to stay, and
What
why
makes me
don't
want
you?
to stay?
Yeah.
The silence, the quiet. The only thing that keeps me from that is my queen. Always my queen.
There are so many wonders here. The nomadic cities, the spaces in between, and our destination is still unknown, but to two of us. Does it seem familiar to you?
Familiar in the same way that the hilt that I have strapped to my side is familiar. Very intimate.
There are many things that call to you. C, are you ready for your next question?
Always.
Oh my.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm going to go out and just remind people these are pulled randomly. Thank you.
Also, we have a spicy question, I believe.
Okay.
I'm
I
double
will-
checking to see if it's for anyone specific.
Okay. I'm going to give C this question.
It's for C.
Oh, it's 4C.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I mean, I want to know what you just pulled for me. Maybe we can do
I
spice next time around.
Yeah, I think I promise the spicy question will come, but we happen to have spice on deck. So, so we'll just do a double header for C. Here we go. You were summoned to a private meeting with the Queen once. Why did you feel disappointed afterwards?
It's always that war advisor. That war advisor is always just barging into the room whenever they feel like it. Every single time. Every single time I've had a moment alone with the Queen, they just think they can come in whenever they want to, what, have dinner again? We'll see. It was rather disappointing, but I hope that I'll get my chance again. Unfortunate that they have also come on this journey. I was hoping this would be a more private affair, but apparently not.
Oh my. All right. It seems that, unconscious or not, there seems to be a rivalry that has brewed, and I question whether it is unconscious. CJ, you saw the Queen do something terrible to keep this retinue safe. What was it? And did you come to respect her more or less afterwards?
The Queen is very dedicated to the cause, as I've said. And once someone on the council was so very adamant about making sure that we go to war, they were against the Queen's wishes and they had substantial political power. Once I saw the Queen lie to get that person thrown into jail for the rest of their life. And it was awful, yet beautiful to see. I often think about that poor fool because they foolishly went up against the Queen and of course they lost. But I have nothing but respect for her because wouldn't you do anything for your ideals, especially one as important as this?
Would you do anything for your ideals? That's an interesting question. But our Queen is not above abusing power to get there, even at the cost of a life, a single life, or the lives of many. We have been at war for as long as we know. Do you ever question whether this has been promoted for far longer than it should?
Often.
Why peace now? Why now? Why like this?
Part of me wants to simply say that everyone is tired of the violence, but wars do cost money, and it would seem we are running out of funds.
I wonder if that's something that our native guide knows. I mean, this is a wealthy land of many beautiful cities, well-known people. They could simply outlast us with their resources and crush us. She is not above crushing. It's interesting. Hamnah, What makes the queen ugly in your eyes?
I think the queen, she plays with hearts. She plays with minds. She knows how everyone feels. She's good at reading people. But she's never explicit in the way that she feels. She always toes that line. She will never say outright that she feels a certain way, but she'll make you think it. She'll make you feel it. And she'll string you along for her benefit until it doesn't benefit her anymore. I've seen her do it multiple times, multiple people. And I don't like it.
She's pulling most of the people here around by her heartstrings. Are you saving C?
I think that they deserve the truth at the very least.
Your nobility is well disguised, and it bespeaks to your honor. It's interesting what we will do for one another, even in secret.
We have a spicy question for Val.
Excellent.
Yep. It was about time. Yep.
This one is reserved for C, and this one is yours.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
You arranged for the queen to be ambushed on this journey. What did they offer you?
They offered me what was stolen from the captain of my god. His life thrown into dungeon, into jail for what? A question? His loyalty was unquestioned, and so was mine. Justice is what this is. Payback. It's what must be done.
And they are going to offer you his life, his honor. What will happen? Or is this merely an ambush? You know it's coming. You will be well forewarned.
I will. And this brute-headed thug will finally show his mettle.
C, you get a spicy question.
And you get a spicy question, and you get a spicy
You get a
question.
spicy question. I will make up spicy questions if we need to, but we do not. This deck is filled with them. It's all in the delivery, you know. All right. The queen had you punished once. What about that memory will stay with you forever?
It's surprising given the things that she adores. She adores tiny, beautiful things. She adores little trinkets, little flowers, long silences, comfort, peace. But there was a true, deep joy in the way that she watched punishment doled out. One that I was not expecting to see, that wavered my understanding of why this war has gone on for as long as it has.
Dare I ask what that punishment was?
It was more of a social punishment, I think. But there was some level of humiliation a knuckle bruising, one could say, I guess, in their banishment exile from the room that stung in such a certain way, having already been banished. It's like she knew that was the thing that would hurt more than any sword or slap would, and that she enjoyed watching that interiority play out.
She has a keen understanding in those silences. She is observant and knows the hearts that serve her well. She knows where it hurts because she knows you so well. And those who love, with their hearts so firmly pinned on their sleeves, you make it such an easy target. It's a shame, really. CJ, there's a part of you that does not want peace in this land. Why are you so attached to war?
I am ashamed to admit it, but war allows me to be useful. War has given me purpose, not only to serve this kingdom or the queen that I love, but it's pushed me in a direction that I never thought that I would be in. At one point in my life, I was a simple bard playing on the streets. I still like to keep my instruments attuned, but in going and studying alchemy and putting my services for the queen, I've become so much more. Yes, of course, I could simply say that I want the war to continue because it keeps me close to the queen. That would be the sweet answer, but sincerely, to be useful is just so addicting. I don't know what I will do after this war.
But on this retinue, you are beyond useful. Your song keeps us lifted. Your knowledge keeps us safe. The books, your sword, your words, and your silence, and certainly your love, that has become more useful here in the wilds than ever was before. Your queen does notice, but so do all the rest. Is there something here, something on this retinue's journey that fills that need for you to be useful to your queen?
Yes. I would say, as we travel through this journey, I take solace in understanding that I am one of the only people that can keep us in good health and good spirits.
It is a balm. It is something that is keeping us going. This is a war-torn land, and we are surrounded by enemies, those who would want to thwart peace. But it must be hard, as you are just as adamant as they are, that you are at her side. Hamnah, the queen is not your queen. Why do you serve her anyway?
I have no choice. I'm not proud of it, but when I was younger, I was a bit of a charlatan, let's say, doing petty crime on the streets here and there, and one day I happened to steal from the wrong person, someone high up in the noble family. And I was given an option. I would either work for the queen or work for the family, or I could rot away for the rest of my life. And well, was that even an option? So I took the position in the court, just a simple kitchen job at first. And, old habits die hard. So I listened in here and there in conversations I wasn't supposed to. And one day I happened to overhear a war council meeting. And I determined that what they were planning, it wasn't going to go well. And I guess I didn't care very much for my life because I went in and I told them that. The queen saw something in me that day, an instinct, I think, for this kind of thing, and allowed me to train to gain the skills that I needed to take up that post. But I can't help but think back to my childhood, to my younger days, and she wasn't there then.
But you have good instincts. Your instincts have led us this far, have enamored you to the queen, have proven you're correct, and you are willing to put your life on the line for what you believe is right. What do your instincts tell you about the rest of this retinue?
There are secrets everywhere. People appear forthcoming, but they are not. And I worry that that might be our downfall on this journey.
This is not the time for secrets. We are in a deadly land. You know this. You who have strategized and can see movements, logical conclusions as they spin fractally forward, you see how this can go. You are probably the best prepared of us all. Keep your eyes sharp, because nothing is as it seems. Val.
Yes.
Why are some of the others at the royal court jealous of your relationship with the queen?
One can be loved, one can be enamored for, but to be the one holding at many times the life of the monarch, that is truly the most powerful position. At any turn, every movement, I am but a blade swing away from revolution, from enacting bloody punishment. And for all the brutish and violent expectations of one of my caliber, that is something I can do so very quickly, so very efficiently, whilst the others take planning, silence, time.
Sometimes there's a call for action. But I notice how quickly things can flip for you. One side of the coin to the next in an instant.
Just like my queen.
Just like your queen. See. You suspect this journey isn't about diplomatic negotiations. What else do you believe is going on, and why?
I think that this is all about crowning the new queen. By the end of this journey, it won't be her, but it'll be somebody here. And I get the feeling that I'm just leading them to renegotiation, not of peace, but of power. Why? Well, let's just say that all the thieves' guilds, all the connections that one might have to have in order to get through this place specifically. I've heard about an ambush or two, haven't I?
You are well familiar with this area. It is not beyond your understanding, and I'm sure you've had an eye and an ear out from the beginning. You know how this works. You're not fooled.
It's a pity, though.
Yes.
It is a pity.
If this truly is about renegotiating who will hold power in this region, is your invitation for her to abandon it all, to save her, or to condemn her, your queen?
I suppose I'm just sentimental for a pretty face.
And the one who's going to be set up, I hear there is a letter. I wonder if that's her name in there or someone else's. In which case, that letter will have to be stopped. No one must know. Otherwise, all plans will be undone. And the only person who knows what is on that letter and who carries it is, in fact, our queen. What a pity. CJ.
Pen, we have a spicy question for Hamnah when we get back over to them.
Excellent. CJ, what do you do for the queen that anyone else can do? And why does she make you do it?
Once a week, I sit a distance away from the queen's window and I strum a lute in her honor. It is something that anyone can do, surely, but she allows me to do it because she understands that no one has the passion that I do when I play for her.
Then it is a good reason that she chose you. But I'm sure she didn't choose you just for your voice on this journey. I mean, you play very well. But no one else here, no one else brings quite the level of skills you do. Remember that. I believe we have a spicy question next.
Spicy, 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 spicy.
Spice, spice, spice.
Woohoo! I had to take a moment. The queen touched you once. What about that memory will stay with you forever?
We were walking in the courtyard. It was a beautiful day, slight breeze. The sun was out. And we were walking, discussing some plans for future meetings that were coming up, regular business. And there's always a bustle in the castle courtyard, people that work there going to and fro. And so there are always eyes watching you. And to my surprise, the queen, as we were walking, she moved over and her hand brushed mine. For a moment, not longer, but I was sure of it. That was no accident. And I was taken aback. Out in public, in front of everyone, it was bold. And I think that's what stuck with me more than anything, was just the boldness of it.
It was unapologetically bold. Probably a meaning that only you could devise. And every time that you have had a private meeting with her, a private dinner that no one else knew about, she was careful never to touch. And yet, in public, where anyone could see. And you wonder why the court has such rumors about you.
Yes, but I still think that her feelings aren't true. I've seen her do this too many times to other people to believe it myself.
And yet you still remember.
How could I not?
Of course. She is our queen. Val,
Mm-hmm.
the queen sometimes shows interest in your personal life. How do you respond to that and why?
At first, with great joy before everything happened. At first, it was she truly cares about her people. No man too small, no person too far removed for her loving eyes to gaze upon. But after what they have done to Captain Rowden, after all of that, surely it is all a lie. Surely it is all pretense. A way to divine your most hidden feelings, and she knew mine. And she will now know mine.
But she does know yours. That's what's curious. And we are all people of war. We were birthed in war. We grew up in war. We've lived in war. Countless of lives have fallen. And yet this one speaks to you so strongly that you've arranged an undoing act. And yet, how could she not know? Or maybe she did. Is it possible that she knew that you would call such an action, knowing, as she does, how C whispers to her of freedom and how a certain name is scribed on a letter known by none? She is no fool, our queen.
She is no fool. And I am not one to stand idly by as the man I had once loved lies as bones in a dungeon.
So many hearts torn. The truth rings out. See,
Oh,
you are. Welcome to For the Queen.
Yeah.
You are considered beautiful by almost everyone you meet. How does the queen make you question that perception?
I'm used to attention. I love attention. I really do. And of course, it was hard being cast out of the place that I once called home, but being immediately picked up in this queendom was nice. I still had attention for different reasons, and I could make myself useful. And people would ask questions and be interested. But no matter what I do, all of those skills that I've known for my whole life, always employed because I just want, well, what I've never been able to have, a true, deep, meaningful, well, I could go on, couldn't I? But what it really is that no matter what tricks I pull out of my sleeve, no matter how much I whisper of freedom and escape and pretty little things like myself, the queen is looking at the horizon towards something that I haven't been able to pin down yet. Her attention is drawn elsewhere, beyond whatever this is, towards something I don't think any of us really know. But I wish it was me. I wish I could do something interesting enough to get her attention.
She likes so much the little things, the quiets, the moments. She admires so much words and action.
But it's so easy to put down little things, keep them on your shelf, let them collect dust like little trinkets. I don't want to be a trinket. I want to be a...
She also likes pain.
I'm sweaty! Hello! Okay, just gonna take that
Actually
one.
sweating over here. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm really I'm sweating.
And the AC on is doing nothing for me. Absolutely nothing.
Oh. CJ.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Queen trusts you enough to have you on this journey?
Did you know that there are flowers out in the world that are easily used for both medicine and poison? The Queen trusts me because I am versatile. The Queen trusts me because I'm smart. The Queen knows that if something were to happen to all of us on this trip, that I would be the one to survive, because much like weeds in the garden that she watches me tend to, I am persistent, and my love for her is what drives me to come back.
And all poisons often have antidotes. Poison has come up more than once in this conversation. She is well aware, and our country seems well aware, that we need tasters to keep our royalty safe. Should there have been a poison, that is one she would know you could identify, possibly counteract or act upon. You may be her savior, or you may be her justice, should she fall. I wonder what would happen if you found someone here with a vial of poison.
Who says that I don't already know?
You're very observant. There's more than one death that might be signed on that door. Speaking of, Hamnah, the Queen is responsible for the death of someone you loved. Who was it, and what happened?
it was one of my siblings. A long time ago, not anything recent. This was before I worked for the Queen, for the noble family. You see, my family, we didn't have very much. And because of it, everyone in my family had to work extremely hard. And even then, it wasn't enough. It was never enough. And we would see these processions that the Queen would put on, these grand displays of wealth. And it felt like an insult. My sibling died of disease, brought about by the conditions in which we lived. And my family and I was not able to save them. The Queen is responsible for that death. Had she governed differently, had she provided aid to those of us who do not have as much as she had, they would not need to have died. But that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. And she did raise you up. this scullery maid from the streets. You don't know why she did that. Maybe she did know after all. Maybe she's been watching you a long, long time.
That almost makes it worse.
There are so few accidents, and even the accidents seem to be on purpose. Val?
Yes.
What do you do to disappoint the queen on this journey?
To go against everything I've sworn and served my life for. It is to look at all of the different ways this could play out and still adamantly, stubbornly choose the one. I will disappoint her because I will bring her down. Not for grand glory or hierarchy or succession, but for me, but for him. For him.
It's amazing what so many will do for love, isn't it?
Yes. So much I would do.
See,
Yes.
the queen thinks more highly of you than you do of yourself. How do you know this?
Let's see. When I say that I want attention, it's because I've never been enough, right? Never enough to keep the throne in my own lands. Never enough to really become anything here. And yet here I am on this, what? This mission of peace? I don't think so. I've never thought so. But in a way, I get the feeling that whatever is on that piece of paper is a hope, perhaps. And whatever happens with it, well, means that I get to throw my hat in the ring, so to speak. And I think she knows that. So that I can have it all. Because maybe I'm not just a trinket. Maybe I get to wear the crown.
Maybe she wants to gift you with the greatest thing of all. She knows hearts. She knows love. She knows yours. What if she gave you everything? CJ, you know this about the queen, but I'm going to ask you specific. What brings out the queen's cruelty?
When some people would think that when the queen is backed into a corner politically, that she would become her most cruel, but alas, it is almost the opposite. It is when you make the queen feel as though she is small and insignificant, as though her choices were not the best, that brings out her cruelty. sometimes people make the mistake of feeling that they can, how do you say, slander her. And up front, she takes it with grace beautifully. She makes people think that they're safe, but behind closed doors, she is just as vicious as a snake, because you do not slander the queen.
She values silence and she values words. If someone cuts her with words, she'll stay silent. And then she will cut them back, but not with words. It is good to know our place. We can be so close to our hearts, and yet it's a knife's breadth. It's the edge of a blade, and everything can change. The queen is under attack. This is the card that ends our game. I will ask one question alone. You will each give your answer, and we will have a decision. Or the fates may intervene. The queen is under attack. Do you defend her? I will go around. You get one vote. Majority wins. And if we have a tie, it goes to our chat. You will help decide the fate of the queen and her piece. Hamnah, do you defend your queen?
I do. A
Val,
life for a life.
do you defend your queen?
No.
C, do you defend your queen?
Yes, I want it all.
CJ, do you defend your queen?
No.
We have a tie as the retinue is split. Let it be decided in chat on a poll that will be conducted shortly, and we will have our answer.
Y'all, I am scared.
I set up this character way too hard for me to defend my queen now.
This is the moment we are waiting for to learn about the fate of the queen and the retinue in the middle of a foreign country that we are at war, home to see and known to Hamnah.
I love how everyone is saying no.
Yeah, I don't think we have. I don't think we have a poll.
There won't be a poll.
I don't think we need a poll. Is what this looks like.
Everyone is saying no, y'all.
Everyone is saying no.
Oh.
Therefore, it has been decided by the fates. We did not defend our queen. The two who stood ready to defend fall by the ambush that has been provided by Val. A number of swords at the ready. Out of the nomadic wilds they came, almost without warning. Val, knowing that they were here, simply stepped back. CJ, stunned in the moment, looked forward, and it was too late. Wherever his heart was torn, in that moment, hers was torn first. Hamnah and C, both of whom had gone to stand by the one they loved. The two who were supposedly at odds, but also perhaps sheltering one another from her scorn, all fell beneath the blades. And upon those moments of blood-soaked earth, That is where our peace fell, and we are still at war to this day. Thank you for playing for the Queen. We are going to take a break. I invite you to be able to go out, take a break. Everyone take care of themselves. Go have a breather, stand up, hydrate, take care of yourselves, and we will be back with a new queen, new characters, and some familiar questions. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Friends Who Roll Dice, Friends Who Roll for Pride charity stream. We just got off of our break of our first intense game of For the Queen. Spoiler alert, the Queen did not make it if you were not here for that. Just as a reminder, we are raising money for the Trevor Project, who provides crisis and suicide prevention services to young LGBTQIA plus youth. Also, as a reminder, that For the Queen is a questions-based game, and if you want to ask our players some spicy questions about the Queen, you can donate $15 as part of our incentives, and some of our players will answer some of those questions for you. And Penn, right back to you for our second game of For the Queen.
Thank you. Welcome back. I'm really pleased to be able to share this once again with you. You might think you know what For the Queen is all about now, and you'd be partially right. We're going to be asking questions of everyone, and they will co-create and collaborate to create the on the spot, both their characters, the motivations, our queen, our culture, and the one that we're traveling into. Now, while you now know some of the questions and you now know some of the players, what you don't know are the new characters, the new land, the new situations, and our new queen. So here is our new queen. This is for inspiration only, but take a look, get some thoughts, and then realize most of them are going to be remade on the spot as you listen to one another and share in the inspiration, creativity, and collaboration of a great group of players. Are you ready, Hamnah, for your first question? The Queen gave you a compliment once. Why have those words stayed with you?
It wasn't so much a compliment, maybe not to the average person, but once the Queen told me that I reminded her of one of her children. And that really stuck with me because I never knew my parents. And to have someone say that I was like a child to them, that really stuck with me.
Val, are you ready for your first question?
I am.
What is something you do for the royal family that has prepared you well for this journey?
Well, I am a man of great experience and wisdom. I am well learned and read a great many books in my spare time. And the skill set that I bring on this particular journey is that same wisdom and knowledge. I bring forth the not just war strategies that will serve us well, but also the diplomatic strategies, how to soothe the heart, how to put a balm on words.
We will need both of those skills for this journey. As you know, we are crossing through enemy territory on a secret mission of peace. This is the time where words are necessary. C.
We have spice for all.
Spice for
Spice for all.
I just want
spice
to
for everybody.
You get spice and you get spice and you get spice.
Spice for you.
Yeah, very
Look underneath
quick.
your chair. There's more spice.
Oh,
Okay, that's great.
Wahoo.
We'll start with C's spice. That's okay. Hold on a second. That's good. Great. Wow. Well, we're going to be making characters right from the bat with these ones. C. When did you know that you were in love with the Queen?
I've always been in love with the Queen. She is my mother, after all. And what would I be if not a good child who loves their parent? Always and forever.
I'm glad that we have members of the royal family on this journey. CJ, are you ready for your first question?
Yep.
When did you know you would never forgive the queen, and why?
I made a vow to never forget the queen's dishonor upon me. Once I wrote to her a letter that spoke of someone in her court that would betray her. And what was so interesting about the queen is that she is fiercely loyal to those around her. So much so, too, that I believe is a fault. After I sent that letter to her, she branded me something akin to a traitor and cut off my hand in disgrace.
And yet you are here as one of the most trusted people in this retinue.
It would seem the lesson was learned.
I can't wait to know. Hamnah, the queen lights a fire in you. What is it?
Hatred, more than anything else. I hate the way she walks. I hate the way she talks. The little lilt in her voice. It gets on my nerves, and I would want nothing more than to have her just be quiet, please. But she talks and she talks and she talks, and everyone listens because they have to, because she's the queen and what she says goes. But between you and me, there's a lot I wouldn't give just to silence her.
You think you hide that well, do you?
I don't think she knows. I play my cards right because I know that in this world, you have to play it correctly in order to get the power that you're after. And one day, that power will be mine.
You're clearly doing well. You're here on this journey for a secret peace. Val,
Yes?
the queen touched you once. What about that memory of that will stay with you forever?
It was a quiet moment. I had been sitting at my desk, whiling away for hours on this wretched peace treaties and options for discussions, and just across my shoulder, I felt her hands touched as she leaned over my shoulder, over my work. And then she took, and I stood up, of course, to bow and give respect and honor to my queen. And she sat by me, handed me a drink, and we spoke and we talked of business, of other matters that weighed upon our shoulders, upon our hearts. It will stay with me. A truly comforting moment.
See,
Prince C, actually, if you would.
I would. Prince C. You are considered ugly by almost everyone you meet. How does the queen make you question that perception?
You think it's ugly to have scars? I am the firstborn to our queen, and that means that I am the first to defend our queendom. This ugliness you speak of, this is my power, this is my duty, and this is my honor. I am marred from the war that lasts forever, just as my mother is, and just as all the princes into infinity will be if this war does not stop. My body knows battle, and so does my heart. But that is what royalty is, isn't it? My prowess on the battlefield.
Your mother wear those scars proudly. She knows it honors you, as it honors her, as it honors your whole lineage. Your fact that you exist here is in defiance of this other country's will to crush you. The fact that you exist means they have not won.
Precisely.
What is more beautiful than that? CJ, what promise did the queen make to you before this journey? Do you think she'll keep it?
The queen has promised to give me back my status in the kingdom. You see, I am currently disgraced, as aforementioned before. And the symbol of that is when I look at my right side. But she said that if I play my cards right and if I do everything that she needs me to do, that I can get back to what I once was. And I want to believe her, but how can I believe someone that would do something so awful in the first place? She's not to be trusted.
You do know that we are a people of war, of battle, as Prince C says, of prowess. Scars are badges of honor, and the loss of a useful limb. What do you think that means in our world?
I would
Some-
say, oh, sorry.
Some see it as ugliness, but we have already learned that is not so amongst the royals.
I would say that this scar of mine would mean that I have the greatest enemy of them all, the greatest pride.
I believe you've been marked for greater things. We shall see. Hamnah, what do you do that pleases the queen on this journey?
Well, nothing pleases royalty more than buttering them up a little bit. You know, stroking their egos, telling them what a wonderful job they've done, what with the arrangements, how incredibly intelligent they are for the route that they've chosen for us to take. It's so safe, and we're certainly not going to get attacked here. Not when you've done all the thinking, my liege. And so that's what I do. That's what I've always done. I will butter her up, even her child, Prince C, as well, if I need to. And I do it well.
You do indeed. You are here on a very exclusive journey. How are we traveling, by the way?
I believe that we are traveling on horse, given that this is a culture that prides itself on its scars, on heading, headlong into battle, facing things. I believe that it would be seen as perhaps cowardly or a source of disgrace if we were to travel in any covered way. And so we're on horse, out in the open.
We will defy their ways of trying to shut us down. Even if we speak of peace, we do not come weak. The horses that we ride are bred for battle, scarred on their chest and their necks and throats. The one without an eye leads us. We know what scars mean because we survived. If we broker peace, it is from a position of strength. Val,
Yes.
you have a personal connection to the land you are currently traveling through. What makes you want to stay, and why don't you?
Well, but of course, it was my homeland. It was sad to abandon all of that, and well, the reason why I can't stay, why I can't go back is rather simple, actually. I was sent long ago, back in my youth. I'm an old man now, but my memory still serves. I was sent to assassinate our queen. What folly that was. She was a warrior queen. See, that's the thing that they had failed to mention to me before. And as I pulled that dagger ready to smite her, she smacked it away with her own blade at my throat as she looked upon my sad form and found some use of me. In all these years, she has, and I'm better for it.
And yet to be old in this culture of war and survival is perhaps the greatest defiance. If you can live to be old, you deserve your years, for you have taken them and lived beyond.
Indeed.
To even have you here is a show of force and a force to be reckoned with. They'll not soon forget.
They wouldn't, as much as the youngins would like to pretend. We are quite useful.
Princey, what did you bring with you to protect the queen?
A sickle, the royal staff. Unlike the queen's blade that curves circularly, this one long, scythe-like. It is a tool, not just a weapon. It has many uses and many, many, many. Where was I going with that? I have no idea. I lost that completely. It is a tool. It has many uses and it has taken many lives. It is this very symbol of our queendom and our power.
People don't think much about a sickle. They don't think much beyond how we use it to be our farm implements, gather our wheat. But a sickle and a staff on horseback, we strike nightmares into any who would defy us. They forget that we are women, warrior queens. Their memories do not last long. Hamnah, what do you usually do for the royal family, and why does that make you an unlikely choice for this journey?
Just want to ask, did we skip CJ? Or
Did we skip CJ?
Yeah.
My apologies. That's my bad. Hamnah, I will come back to that question.
No
with you.
worries.
CJ, I'm going to ask you this. I apologize because we are all wrapped up in just how amazing you people are. The queen thinks more highly of you than you do of yourself. How do you know this?
Very simply, because she sent me on this journey. I simply believed myself to be another underling, someone under her. And then all of a sudden, I should say, she chose me. I guess even scorpions have their use.
Maybe they recognize another scorpion.
Exactly.
We'll keep our eyes on you. Hamnah, what do you usually do for the royal family, and why does that make you an unlikely choice for this journey?
I am not somebody high up in the royal court. I have many ambitions, a desire to move up the ranks, but as of right now, my position is quite low. I tend to the garden. It's not really a glamorous position, but it is an important one. When we have guests, when people come over, the first things that they see are the high hedges, the tall hedges, neatly trimmed, the beautiful flowers in bloom. That first impression, that's very important. And perhaps that's why I'm here. At least that's what I think. I have been finding it difficult to figure out why exactly I'm here.
It's a good thing to question. I can't wait to know. Val,
Yes.
you suspect this journey isn't about diplomatic negotiations. What else do you believe is going on, and why?
Why, of course, I was privy to these discussions. This is not only the diplomacy is merely to soothe some raging egos. The key point of this mission is to, well, if we broker for peace, excellent, we buy ourselves a few more years. Should we find the need to dominate them further? But truly, the aim of this mission is to have our remarkable retinue, especially our very talented Prince C, our very skilled prince, to help discern the weaknesses within this kingdom, to discern the powers, the players that be here, and use that to our advantage, just like the queen used me to her advantage. I know these lands. I know most of these people. In fact, I believe we will be meeting the folks who hired me to assassinate her many, many years ago on this very mission. It's going to be a delight. I'm very, very excited.
Do you think they'll recognize you?
Oh, certainly. It's no secret that I have now in the service of our queen, but I bet that they believe they can buy me once again. And that's going to be an interesting discussion.
Are you considered a traitor or a spy in this land?
Which land? The land we're going to, the land that
The land we're
from?
traveling in?
Oh, I'm sure that's definitely the words that some would utter upon their lips. Though some might see me as an opportunity, and I'm hoping to make use of that.
Wise man. Prince C, you are uniquely qualified to answer this. What brings out the queen's cruelty?
Well, I remember once taking a walk with the queen through the royal gardens. One of her favorite things to do: blood, fighting, and also gardening. I never really understood why. And then I remember being so young, I was looking up at my mother, and she still had some color in her hair. The crow's feet were not as creased into the corners of her eyes. And I remember the words she spoke to that gardener, how they were like a child to her, and how the words had never quite been uttered the same to me. Why this gardener? Why not me? I was the one who wielded the sword. Since I was young, the scythe has always been in my hands. Why could she not show that same gentle kindness that she showed the garden itself and the gardener? Why not me? I've been wondering that for a long time.
It is but for a child to wonder the secrets of a mother's heart. Or perhaps, who's the gardener? DJ, who is this distant power you are traveling to, and why do they make you uneasy?
This distant power is the neighboring nation. If everyone states us as the nation of those on horseback, those with the weapons of war and might, that with a sword no one can best us, the nation beyond the one that we're going to is one of magic and sorcery. One of the complete antithesis to our nation. I fear them because magic is something that is so hard to cultivate, but so powerful when you do. But I'm drawn, and I wish to see this through.
I think antithesis is a very good word. When we train ourselves, our bodies, our spirits, our weapons, and to know that there could just be a word that could undo such expertise. It's anathema. Hamnah, you sometimes think you might be the queen's favorite. Why? And why does this worry you?
The queen pays particular attention to me. She will take many more walks in the garden than are perhaps necessary for a queen who must have so many other things to do. She pays particular attention to when something is different, when I've done something new. And this attention worries me, because why? Why is she paying attention to a gardener? I don't quite understand what she's thinking, and that uncertainty, it worries me.
Val, what makes the queen beautiful in your eyes?
It is difficult to find things I don't find beautiful about her. When I was in my youth, and she basically slapping my dagger away with her own blade, her blade at my throat, I found her beautiful. In times of war, when she wears her helmet and charges into battle, coming back from that battle drenched with blood, I find her beautiful. In the quiet moments in my chamber where I read and while away the hours, she comes and brings me divine company, I find her beautiful.
Lovely. Princey, there is someone else in this retinue you love besides the queen. How and why are you keeping it a secret?
I actually want to give this question to CJ, I think, actually.
Oh, golly.
Yeah, we're
CJ.
starting that.
Love it. The first past question. CJ, there is someone else in this retinue you love besides the queen. How and why are you keeping it a secret?
I write to them every night in secret to make sure that no one else finds out. I make sure that my notes are somewhat encrypted, something that they would only know. I keep this love a secret because I know that if I slip up, if I do not do everything that I can for the queen in her eyes, she'll more than take it away from me. The queen keeps necessary tools by her at all times. She was good with a sword in the day, but she's even better with her mind. It's quite impressive, actually. So I keep my love a secret so that it can't be used against me.
You're wise and smart. You don't have to necessarily love a queen to admire her. You don't necessarily have to care with your heart to love the leader of a country. Hamnah, why are some of the others at the royal court jealous of your relationship with the queen?
It's quite simple. They see all of the time and all of the attention and all of the care that I get. And they compare it to my status and they think, well, that doesn't make sense. Why them? Why now? And naturally, I think some of the people with higher ranks who think that they deserve this attention and they deserve so much more than they get, I think they are certainly jealous of what they feel is something that I'm getting that I don't deserve. But I know that one day the roles will be reversed, and then we'll talk about who deserves what.
I find it so interesting that she has invited you along, you who crave power, over that which is born to this lineage. It can't be a mistake, can it? Val, there is a false rumor about you and the queen back at the royal court. What is it, and how did it start?
Oh, very simple that I am the Queen's paramour. Scandalous as it is. The strange rumor it is indeed. Which is unfortunately not the case, you know. As much as I admire the beauty of our Queen, she's a very dear friend, the kind of friend who you place your very life, your very blood in a chalice in her hand and trust that she will not drop it. And it is uncomfortable of a rumor, considering my personal inclinations, but nonetheless, a rumor done to further run my name through the dirt. Apparently, axe assassin is not enough. Well, we'll see.
I imagine when we get to the council to broker peace, they're in for quite the surprise.
Oh, almost certainly, if anything, a surprise in itself.
And we all know about surprises and for the queen. See, the queen trusts you, but no one else at the royal court does. Why?
Oh, Oh, I have no way with words. It's almost embarrassing. I am good with a sword and basically nothing else. And I mean, there's the temper, of course, fiery temper. Well, it's hard to be the one who enacts the queen's punishment. Always her right hand when she became too old to hold the sword herself. Puts you in a difficult position. Not very many people end up liking you very much, nor trusting you, beyond what you can do with a blade, but only, of course, for the queen. I take orders from no one else.
You are her literal right hand. You enact her justice, and you do so fully, as she would expect. CJ, what did you bring with you that endangers the queen?
With me, I carry something that is typically outlawed in the kingdom. I carry the tools for a spell given to me by foreign spies. This spell needs only 3 things: name of the one you seek to destroy, a portion of their essence, and a personal sacrifice. And I think it'd be quite fitting to see my second hand go in for her.
Someone has been planning for this journey. I wonder what you did to make sure you got invited along.
Everyone knows the old saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I simply had to do the dance of the remorseful puppet, because the one that pulls the strings must know that puppets can be a danger too.
Well, perhaps your queen has heard the saying as well.
Pen, we have a spicy question for the prince.
Spicy question for the prince. Should we do that now or wait till when we get to your turn? We'll have a spicy question. And I have them. And that you saw the queen do something terrible to keep this retinue safe. What was it? And did you come to respect her more or less afterwards? This is during this journey. You've seen this, and only you.
I would like to hear what Val has to say about this question.
Oh boy. Okay.
Tell me.
Val, you saw something. The queen do something terrible to keep the retinue safe. What was it? And did you come to respect her more or less afterwards?
I have always been, as they term, a survivalist. But my goodness, the lengths our queen would go to ensure not only she survives, but our retinue, certainly. I am flabbergasted, especially coming from a country where magic is not uncommon, and coming to a country which magic is more rare than rare. The queen, very quietly in the silence of a tent, brought me in, for she needed an assistant to cast a protection spell. And I could not fathom that the queen of the very nation that outlaws such practices would do it. And of course, she needed something from me. and I happily gave it.
I smell spell work in the retinue. Prince C, we have a spicy question for you.
I'm ready for the spice.
When was the last time the queen hurt you?
As long as this war continues, the queen hurts me. Every waking day of every waking moment that my mother wakes up and sends me to my death with nay but a pat on the back, she hurts me. Every moment that this war continues is nightmare. And I have always been the wielder of my own Grim Reaper. And it hurts somewhere deep, deep, deep.
Does she know you secretly loathe war?
She's never thought to ask, and she's never cared. I am her weapon, not her child.
You are, and weapons do not have hearts. They do not have feelings. They do not have regrets. They do not have hesitancy. And perhaps it simply needs to be purged.
Of course. I was born for this.
That's right. You were. CJ, you think of someone in this retinue as the queen's favorite. Who is it, and what makes you think this?
Well, for me, that's an easy question. It's who I believe to be the queen's real child. You see, there are clamors among the retinue, among the kingdom of many years ago, of a secret someone being born that's very close in age to what we know as the prince. And I believe that someone outside of the queen's tool is the true child. Maybe that person travels along, and maybe that person is a simple gardener. But who's to say? That's my belief. Yes.
And certainly there's no evidence to back that up.
Oh, evidence is a fickle thing to those that are looking for it. At least there's no evidence to the public.
But you don't miss how she speaks. You don't miss how she looks. Because there is something. There's something. Because also bloodlines don't lie. And if you look into the queen's eyes, you've seen those eyes before. Hamnah, what do you do for the queen that no one else can do?
I help the queen prepare herself for speeches, for meetings, any public event, really. As the gardener, I have a lot of knowledge about the different flowers and their scents and their symbolic meanings that you would be surprised, but is actually quite important when you're out on these meetings, out on these public affairs. And she always wants to make sure that she's sending just the right message, the right mix of strength and vulnerability that is necessary to make these bargains, to make these deals with neighboring nations, with diplomats. And I happen to know exactly which flowers to grind together to create that perfect scent.
Skill. And a subtle one. But every single weapon is a weapon. Val, you saved the Queen's life once. How?
Most of the time, I am but a mind, a keen mind to study and interpret the movements of our enemies. I've never been one to leap in front of a stray arrow, you see. But I think the time that I saved my queen's life was last night in that tent where she cast that spell that would require a great deal of blood. I am a little wobbly today, a little dizzier for it, but I know I saved her life to fight another day.
You protected her in the best way you could.
Only I know the price of such spell work. It's only fitting that I do what is necessary.
Never discount the old. They'll surprise you.
If only these young'uns paid attention. Too busy in their squabbles.
There is hope in the young, but they have to be tempered. Like steel, they haven't earned the years yet. Princey, what do you do to disappoint the Queen on this journey?
I think an unfair argument breaks out. Perhaps with CJ's character warning us not to go into a place that seems dangerous. Perhaps. And the Queen doesn't want to hear it, I think. The Queen wants to remove his other hand for disobedience, but the prince will not raise their sword. Not today. Not when it is clear, Mother, that that path leads toward an ambush hastily set up as they saw our retinue coming. They're only trying to protect us, and you should have more faith. And that is disappointing to her. The first time that I have ever let her down.
You're fortunate that your disobedience is heard only by few. If this was back at court, you'd be wearing more scars. CJ, there is a part of you that does not want peace in this land. Why are you attached to war?
I am not only attached to it, I yearn for it. Because I know that every day that this war goes by, it is a blow to the Queen. And as someone in her retinue, I get to watch the little losses, the little victories of the other side pile up. And that sets my heart aflame, is watching her fail.
And yet we're going to go broker peace. What will happen if we gain peace?
I simply believe that if we gain peace, that's just one less knife to the neck of someone so cruel. It's always home.
I'm just curious. We are warriors. What use have we for peace?
Necessity brings usefulness in many ways. When a warrior puts down their weapon, they'll find that other tools can be used just as easily.
Oh, yes, we do have our other tools here. We have many tools here: knowledge, obedience, weapons, magic. We have many tools here. We were once agrarian, with our gardens and our scythes. And some lands thought that they could take it from us. And they learned very quickly. A scythe is not just a scythe. A draft horse is not just a draft horse. And a woman is not just a woman. Once upon a time, she became queen. But perhaps peace. Hamnah, the queen had you punished once. What about that memory will stay with you forever?
I expect the worst when it comes to royalty. I see their cruelty every day. I have, unfortunately, a first-class seat to that cruelty every day. I see it, I witness it. And so when I made that mistake, when I concocted a perfume for our queen that offended the visiting party, I expected the worst. I thought, surely I will lose a limb, lose my sight, maybe even my life, depending on her mood that day, because I had seen her take people's life for less. And yet the punishment was small. Some scratches along my torso that they did not require much to tend to. They have since scarred over, barely visible though, not much to show people. And that surprised me. The restraint that she wielded that day, it was unlike her.
Really? From what I see, we have been a bloodline of warriors. We wear our scars proudly. Everyone can see it, even on Princey's face. And yet, if we go into a land of peace, perhaps scars would not be suited to a ruler of peace. Val, what brings out the queen's kindness?
Truly, truly, the thing that brings out the queen's kindness is a glittering eye of fear, of wistfulness, eyes that are lost in this grand world. She saw it in me. She sees it in that gardener. See, everyone thinks that kindness has to be this like sugary, like caramel, overwhelming, filled with hugs, flowers, things like that. The queen is surgical, just like a warrior. Her kindness also cuts.
Well said. Princey, the queen is responsible for the death of someone you loved. And what
Wow, I
happened?
fucking can't catch a break, huh?
Princey is just getting all of the bad questions. Just
Wow.
hurt after hurt after hurt.
We're
You
setting
want
up a
some
narrative.
drama? I'll give you some drama.
Oh,
I have it. I'm ready. I have not always been the firstborn. In fact, I'm not even the third. I had people who loved me, who taught me to fight, who taught me to protect myself. And when I was too young to know how to properly hold my scythe, they gave up their lives to protect me when I was put on the battlefield too early.
you weren't early. They were late. And you survived. Some children are so ungrateful. CJ.
Damn!
Don't know how to follow that one up. Good luck, CJ.
Bring it on.
The queen is not your queen. Why do you serve her anyway?
Because the queen I serve wills it. The queen that I serve seeks for me to stay by this queen's side, to be the one to help take the crown forcibly. The queen that I serve guides me properly so that I may make sure that the queen that I see in front of me falls.
And if it happens, she would respect such strength.
Indeed.
The queen is under attack. Do you defend her? We will answer this one question, and this one question will determine her fate. Hamnah, do you defend your queen?
I do.
Val, do you defend your queen?
Certainly.
Princey, do you defend your queen?
No. She ought to defend herself. Only the strong survive.
CJ, do you defend your queen?
Yes.
In that moment, upon horseback, there's a charge, almost as if she could hear it. The queen's head turns, all battle ready. Swords and scythes and spears appear and melt before her battle. When she charges, it is as if everyone moves in concert. Hamnah and Val on horseback beside her, wielding their weapons at the ready, a battle cry on their lips. CJ close at hand. Prince C does not move, sits upon the horse and gazes as the forces that stood to defeat her are mowed into bone meal that will litter the earth and feed the next generation of flowers on this land that she will take. In peace or in war, should they choose, she is going to dictate the terms of this peace agreement and hand control to the next in line, Prince C, who was correct. If she had fallen in battle, he would have gotten all that they wanted. But the queen is not ready to fall. The queen will live. But Prince C, well, we'll see. Thank you for playing for the queen. It has been my absolute pleasure to play this game with you. Thank you so much. It was yet another amazing story that could never have been created by any one person. And I firmly believe collaborative, co-created stories are so much better the more people you bring. Thank you so much for coming to my table. And thank you everyone in chat for raising money for the Trevor Project. This is something very close to my heart, and you are making a difference. Games, listening, and learning voices are making a difference.
Thank you, Penn. Thank you, players. Those were two amazing games of For the Queen, full of drama and intrigue and love. And it was so, so good. We raised $200 for the Trevor Project tonight. Holy cow, that was amazing. So we're going to end this night off with everyone telling us who they are, what projects are coming up, where can we find you, starting with our lovely facilitator and game master, Penn.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm +1 Pen of Smiting. I am Pen of Smiting on all the socials. I usually draw cute, googly-eyed cartoons of your favorite RPG podcasts and streams. I also love drawing heroes like you at your own table, either your podcast or with your friends at home. I am going to be doing For the Queen 2 more times for Pride. I will be doing this Friday at 8 to 11 p.m. with Slady's ATL. And I will be doing it on Saturday, the 26th with Myrrh, for Glisten with Pride from 8 to 11 a.m. Other than that, you can find me as a guest on a number of things on Craftic, as well as being on Slady's. And I'm always interested in doing more GMing and playing, and stay tuned for more. Currently, I am also a content creator. You can find my work on Drive-Thru RPG and itch.io, where I did Tooth or Truth, a role-playing supplement to make deeper, more meaningful role-playing for you and your crew. There you go. Next in line.
Let's do CJ.
Ooh, I'm up. Hello everyone. My name is CJ. You can find me on Twitter at CJM_115, TikTok at Scholastic Dragon. And you can also find me tomorrow on my group server, the Ephemeral Forest. We'll be playing Lasers and Feelings. And if you've ever wanted to see a group of people lose a role-playing game, I promise you will see it tomorrow if you show up.
Thank you. Let's pop over to C.
Hi y'all, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a dancer, digital artist, and tabletop role player. You can find me on my own Twitch channel at pi_sharp. I have a segment that I have been doing recently called Dungeons and Doodles, where I invite a member of the greater tabletop community onto my channel, interview them while also drawing them a character portrait. It is a part talk show, part art stream. It's super fun. Drop me a follow if that's something you might be interested in. You can also find me, generally speaking, on the internet making very, very gay fantasy art at PieSharp Art. You can also find me as a cast member on Transplanar RPG. Transplanar RPG is an all transgender person of color led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play live stream set in a anti-colonial non-orientalist world, and that streams every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary, so stick around. That'll be super, super fun. I also make the art for that campaign, so check that out if you're interested. I can't remember any other things that I might maybe be doing this week, but that's really it. So with that, I'll pass it along.
and Hamnah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at @shahid_, where I will talk about all of the different things that I'm doing. If you want to catch me in another campaign right now, we are in the middle of a few shot on Roll the Rolls channel. We're doing a Monster of the Week campaign. It's horror themed. It's super fun. Spooky things are happening, so definitely join. I am also the dice maker for Noctis Resin. So if you want some custom made handmade dice, you should pop over to @Noctis Resin on Twitter and Instagram, and we can talk.
And last but not least, Val.
Hi everyone, I am Valiant Dorian. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Valiant Dorian. I'm also a variety Twitch streamer. I play video games on Twitch under Also Spirit Bear, but I also run a D&D prep. Some few videos there about how to prep in a very chill environment and creating a shared space for learning for folks. You can also find me on TikTok at TransLionDad. What else am I involved in? I'm slowly branching out into the tabletop RPG space. Please consider me in any actual play stuff, and I'm so happy to be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again to all of our participants to help raise money for the Trevor Project. I speak for everyone that this was an absolute joy to watch this group. Holy cow. As a reminder, this game was part of our Friends Who Roll with Pride charity stream. This was the first of several games that we'll be running for Pride to support the Trevor Project. The next game is going to be this coming Friday, the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be running a game of Van Wizards versus the Mageocracy. I've taken a look at some of it. It looks really, really cool, and I know the casts are going to be announced soon, so please stay tuned on our Twitter. In the meantime, everybody have a lovely, lovely night, and we are going to go raid Critical Bard, who is currently playing some Super Mario Sunshine. So we'll see you all, everybody. Have a lovely Friday night. Or not Friday, Wednesday night. Bye.
Yes.